Good morning to you all. My name is Vincent White, and if you do me a favor and lend me your ears, I'd like to paint out a scenario for you. Your good friend has a viral illness, and they ask you to purchase medicinal marijuana for them because they live in an anti-green state. Us living in California, it is completely accessible to you. So you purchase the plant, you agree to it, and you plan on giving them the product by driving it to them because you cannot mail contraband. On the way, you get pulled over and placed in jail for something that was completely legal where you just came from. As of today, I live in a country that has the highest amount of incarcerated inmates in the world, which also means that my country has the highest incarceration rate as of 2019. As many of you see me and met me in your class, you'll most likely assume at this point that the country I'm talking about is the United States. The country that has adopted the slogan, land of the free, home of the brave. Although I'm incredibly grateful to where I live, the phrase brings irony to your ears when you find out that our 2.1 million prisoners is the most in the world by roughly 600,000 inmates. What's probably more surprising is the most common crime among those serving sentences in prisons, drug offenses. According to Federal Bureau of Prisons, just over 45% of prisoners are serving sentences because of drug crimes. Although the severity of these crimes vary, the legal system has made it abundantly clear that there is now a massive inconsistency that they have created which applies to previous and future drug offenses. So simply put, the main contribution of incarceration will not be subsiding anytime soon. I'll now be highlighting for you the legal dilemma created by these inconsistencies and how these inconsistencies they created will not help hinder the massive number of people incarcerated due to these drug offenses. The culprit of these inconsistencies, simply put, is that criminalization is defined differently depending on the state that you're in. An example of this, a really good example of something I just mentioned previously, would be the legal handling of marijuana. As of today, there are 11 different states in our country that have completely legalized the recreational usage of marijuana within its borders. Alaska, California, Colorado, Illinois, Maine, Massachusetts, Michigan, Nevada, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington. Sorry. In a slightly different context, there are 33 different states that have decriminalized the medical usage of marijuana and 26 different states that have prohibited the threat of jail time for simple possession of smaller amounts of marijuana. Now, with all those numbers and statements being said, the federal government still classifies marijuana as a Schedule I drug, meaning that it's comparable to heroin, cocaine, and LSD. And according to drugpolicy.org, there were 608,775 people arrested for marijuana possessions in 2018. Of course, arrested does not mean incarcerated, as many were given misdemeanor offenses and others had their sentences completely reduced during trial when states started legalizing marijuana. But just using marijuana example alone, it should make us all ask the question, why are people criminals in some states but completely free in others? That's the system now, and that's the inconsistency, that's the dilemma I was talking about. When it comes to the law system and determining the amount of time a human being will spend behind bars because of drug crimes, it should not depend on the location one was in when they got caught with a crime that may or may not be a crime depending where they are. And for those that have been incarcerated, will they get reduced sentences or even be placed on early release? This self-created dilemma between state and federal criminal mandates clearly is ineffective in discouraging those who may reoffend or offend again. Or offend the first time, apologies, which is my other point of ineffectiveness. Since the beginning of the war on drugs, the legal system has been aggressive towards drug offenders, to say the least. The harsh punishment given to first-time offenders contributes substantially to the process of recidivism. Recidivism is defined as a tendency of a criminal to reoffend, because it is evident that the federal view will not change the policies anytime in the near future. I find it incredibly important to point out how interesting it is they continue to adapt the punish not rehabilitate mindset when it clearly has not worked. As of this year, according to the United States Sentencing Commission, nonviolent drug offenders have a recidivism rate of 50% when it comes to being rearrested and 33% when it comes to being reincarcerated. That's an even worse percentage when you take into account that prisonpolicy.org lists that there are 191,000 inmates currently serving sentences for nonviolent drug offenses. With statistics showing the process will most likely continue, the biggest contributors to occupants of our prisons will not change anytime soon. And that is a picture of our current Attorney General of the United States. In conclusion, I'm not strictly saying that our system is completely broken and we need to do better yet, because that's not what the topic's about. I chose specifically to speak to you all about the insane amount of people incarcerated for drug crimes, because that is not only important to everyday society, it's something that a lot of citizens living around the situation do not know about. Politicians, district attorneys, lawmakers, and every citizen across the country have created opinions about the effects of drugs on people. And with the current system, it has become the most significant contribution to our country, possessing the largest prison population in the world. Thank you so much for your time.